No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name is Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLR.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Got a vendetta. Coffee tastes like bad decisions I ain't made yet. Boss man talking about we got her, and that means me, brother. Afraid I got a terminal case of the I don't want us. Mind checked out, heart ain't in the building. That second hand's crawling like it hates my guts. The man treating rich like it's a sin. Even God took a beat. So, suck it. Thank God it's Friday. Punch. Yeah, middle finger to 9 to 5. Bill still waiting, but tonight I don't care. Cold beer sermon and a bar stool prayer. Take this job and shove it, I quit. Till Monday, cause tonight I'm free. Yeah, work and wait. It ain't owning me. So raise them up high. Let the whistle blow. Thank God it's Friday. That's all I know. HR in the break room sounding like a preacher, talking about culture smiles and being team players. Clipboard dreams on the fluorescent light, selling hours of my life just to make it to Friday night. Got dirt on my jeans, and grease on my hands, like more overtime than quality plans. But when that bell rings, it's a holy around. I ain't lazy, I just work my fill. If rest is a sin, guess I always will. Thank God it's Friday, punching out alive. Hands in the air, middle finger to 9 to 5. Bill still waiting, but tonight I don't care. Cold beer sermon and a bar stool prayer. Take this job and shove it, I quit. Till Monday, cause tonight I'm free. Yeah, work and wait, it ain't on me. So raise 'em up high, let the whistle blow. Thank God it's Friday, that's all I know. Boss can have Monday, God on Sunday, but Friday night's mine, I ain't giving it away. I earned this beer, I earned this pay, I earned every sip I'm about to take. Thank God it's Friday, punching out alive. Hands in the air, middle finger to 9 to 5. Bill still waiting, but tonight I don't care. Cold beer sermon and a bar stool prayer. Take this job and shove it, I quit. Till Monday, cause tonight I'm free. Yeah, work and wait, it ain't on me. So raise 'em up high, let the whistle blow. Thank God it's Friday, that's all I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Finally Friday edition. If you happen to be finding us, please come say hello. X is being dumb again today, which is part of the reason why I have the guest who is joining me for hour one. You may remember he's been on the show before. He's Jeff Dornik, CEO of Pickax. We're going to bring him over right now. But I, for one, have been looking for an X alternative for quite a while now. And because every time I think they're going to leave us alone, they don't. They just don't.
Yeah.
And yeah. For some reason, oh, hang on. No, that's not it. For some reason, you're not coming through, but I know it glitched out on
Can you hear me?
There we go. Now
There we go. Cool.
Yeah, I saw your lips moving. I thought, but I couldn't hear you.
No, it's weird dealing with X because they keep dangling the carrot of free speech and you can say what you want and all this kind of stuff. But then when you actually look at their source code and algorithms and all that kind of stuff, it's like it's the exact opposite. I mean, it's like how do you have freedom of speech if you don't have freedom of reach? Like how are you free if they artificially limit your ability to be heard? It doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not just that. It's like every time I turn around, they're breaking something. That's like I am constantly streaming on this site. It's one of that YouTube and Rumble I am doing. In between this show, I do 6 hours a week, and then on Wednesday nights we run for another 6 hours. Thursdays is usually another about 3 hours. Well, actually, now that we have another show after us, another 5 hours at night, and it's like I have to constantly just push and push and push and push. And I supposedly have an account with over 12,000 followers, and trust me, I have never been anybody to pay for anything, especially not that kind of stuff. But it's like, and I get emails all the time. Where'd your show go? Did you quit doing it? I'm like, dude, I'm on all the time. This network is almost constantly streaming on this platform. But
we'll see, and that's the thing is like so Elon he put their code out in open source for the algorithms, and it turns out that according to their source code that the people that follow you, it has zero bearing on whether they're actually going to see your content. So basically, following means jack squat according to their code. What will dictate whether you get seen or not is the algorithm. So the algorithms look at your content and they decide, do we want anybody to see it? And then if it decides that they want somebody to see it, then they will decide arbitrarily, irrelevant to who follows you and who doesn't follow you, which accounts are going to see your content. So I don't understand how you build community. I don't understand how you build how you can actually be social. I don't understand how you can build a following if you're trying to build a show, if you're trying to, because all you're doing is just chasing the algorithms, which is basically just constantly exposing you to new people. But then how do you convert them into loyal listeners, loyal followers? Like, their system is not conducive to actually building a show or building an audience.
All right. So, since we have basically established why X is terrible and why I have already told my team that I will probably keep paying for the network ability to stream here, but I'm going to be downgrading at least my personal account because it's pointless. Um, what can Pickaxe do for folks that actually are trying to build community and actually interact with people and be seen?
Well, like, our mission is really to kind of make social again, or social media social again, and like this whole idea of, eliminate the algorithm. So what we're doing is, if if somebody follows you, they're actually going to see your content, and we do that by through basically making you, the user, the algorithm. So it's not a computer based algorithm that's looking at topics and arbitrarily deciding who wins and who loses. You, the user, get to decide who gets seen and what gets seen based upon your interaction and your engagement and all that kind of stuff. So basically, if you're following somebody, your list of followers will show up in your news feed in chronological order. So we're not going to be inputting people that you don't follow. We're not using algorithms to dictate what's seen. It's chronological. But then, if there's a post and there's engagement, or there's a comment, or there's a conversation happening, it'll automatically populate back up to the top, to where it's a much more organic way of getting exposure. Then obviously you can share content, but then if you're commenting on somebody else's post and one of your followers doesn't follow them, that will then get input into their newsfeed along with your comment on that. So where it's a much more organic way of being exposed to new accounts. It's a much more organic way of building community, building an audience, all that kind of stuff. And I've already had several people with pretty significant audiences on X, and they come over to Pickaxe, and they have like a tiny percentage of the following that they have on X, and they're already saying that they're seeing more engagement on their posts on Pickaxe than they are on X, just because of the way that we set up our newsfeed.
Hmm. Yeah, I have to admit, once we started streaming over here full time, I still have my accounts over there, but I hadn't been on in a while. I've been waiting for the app because I do most of my, when I'm not like right in front of my computer, I do most of my socialing from a phone. So I've been waiting for the app. So I was glad to see those emails coming out that that's going to be a thing soon. But that's part of the reason why I wanted to have you on, because everybody that I've talked to about pickaxes, well, I don't really want to have anything to do with it till it has an app, because I'm almost never on a desktop or a laptop anymore. And I'm like, okay, cool. So once I know for sure that's going to be happening, we'll have him back on. And sure enough, you'd already reached out and said, hey, this is happening. When can I come on your show? And I'm like,
Yeah.
how about either Friday or Monday?
Yeah, there you go. Well, and it works out perfect because Tuesday we're actually officially launching, so it'll be available in the iOS and Google Play App Store. And then it's gonna be a lot of fun because on Tuesday we're gonna do this massive live stream, all day. We're gonna be bringing on a lot of our top creators and influencers and all that kind of stuff onto the platform, and really talking about the features, what sets us apart. Some a sneak peek at some of the features that we're going to be rolling out over this next year, announcing some both in-person events as well as virtual events that we're going to be doing and being involved in. So there's going to be a lot of announcements, and you'll kind of get the vision of where we're going in a very comprehensive manner on Tuesday. And again, that's going to be like an all-day thing, so you can kind of pop in, pop out if you're doing something back on the computer, hop back in and watch it, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Actually, Tuesday is one of the days that I don't. So, you haven't been on for a while, so you don't know. But I've actually moved my show around several times. Last year, I moved everything around and made it earlier because last year was when I was doing things later. Well, this year I tried to make things earlier, but then I have figured out that I am no longer 35 years old, and it's really hard to get out of bed once you're above 50. So, I went back to a later time slot, but I also on the days of the week that I'm doing this show, just because it's usually so labor intensive and I do so many others. So Tuesday's a great day for this because I'm not going to be on the air, so I will probably be hanging out for a good bit of that while I'm working on stories and everything else for the other places that I
Yeah.
work for. So I'm glad to know about that. But I did want to have you on specifically to start by talking about that. So, since we do have your attention and may have an audience that you don't typically have access to, is there any sneak peek you want to give while we're talking? It's up to you. You
No,
don't
yeah,
have
no.
to.
So,
I'm
so
just
okay, so obviously we're launching the app, and I always tell everybody this is our foundation. So this is just our starting point. This isn't the end game. So don't think that like this is all that there's going to be. But we've got some really cool features that are already on there, including Rumble integration. So Rumble videos are playable in the news feed. You can write articles. Like I said before, you're not dealing with all the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. Coming up, we're going to be implementing an email newsletter feature very similar to Substack. So we're going to be direct competition basically to Substack, to where when you're writing
Ooh.
articles, you can then decide, do you want to send, post it just as an article on the platform? Do you want to send it just as an email, or do you want to do both? And so it'll give you the ability to have more direct access to your audience, promote your shows. You could either treat it as like a blog, like a lot of people on Substack do, or you could treat it like a newsletter. If you post a link in the article for, let's say, your show on Rumble or something like that, it'll auto populate the player, and then it'll email it to where it'll automatically link back to your Rumble with a thumbnail and all that kind of stuff. So there's some really cool integrations from that standpoint, but that's going to be coming out probably Q3 of this year. And I think that's going to be a game changer for a lot of creators to actually have an email newsletter feature that's built into a social media platform. And again, that's something that you own as a content creator. That's something that, like, if you decided you wanted to take it somewhere else, you could download the CSV file, take the emails, and you use it somewhere else. Like we're giving you guys control, more power, more direct access. Obviously no algorithmic manipulations or anything like that. It's also going to help creators to be able to monetize more effectively as well, because then we can take a look at, okay, who which accounts have the best engagement rate, have the most subscribers, all that kind of stuff. And then we could go to advertisers and say, hey, would you like to send out a sponsored email to one of these creators email lists? And then we can then connect the creator with the brand to be able to do sponsored posts or sponsored emails. And then so there's a wide variety of ways that this is going to be a game changer for a lot of creators, and a lot of people, and then also allow people to have more direct access to where, even if they're not logging into the social media platform, they're still getting notified. Hey, they're getting a newsletter. Hey, we're going live later today with so and so as the guest on the show. You tune in. Like, we're giving you guys more direct access to people. So that's going to be something that's, again, rolling out Q3. We're also going to be rolling out something called Pickax Plus, which is going to be our premium service, and all the features. And we're going to announce the features here really soon. But all the features in there are things that you actually would want to pay for, as opposed to all the rest of the platforms. What they do is they're basically charging you to, quote unquote, verify who you are to get a blue check mark, and then you still demoted in the algorithms. You're still not getting access to anything, and you're basically having to pay them a crap ton of money in order to prove that you are who you say you are. And I'm like, why don't we just do that for free? And then the premium service will be certain things that people would actually want to pay for if they wanted to, for additional, features, more access, more things like that. So we're going to be rolling out some fun things like that. And then the last thing that I'll kind of tease as well is we're going to be doing some in-person events around the country, maybe some town halls, some panels, maybe some summits and conferences and things like that, in a wide variety of industries. So we're getting a lot of people from the medical freedom crowd. We're getting a lot of people from politics. We're getting a lot of gamers onto the platform. We're even getting some people in the health and wellness industry, entertainment, film critics, all that kind of stuff. And so it'll allow us to have a wide variety of events in different locations around the country, to where, if you're like, oh, they're popping in my neck of the woods, you hop in, and then now we can begin to create community amongst our users by getting you guys face to face with each other. Because that, to me, I think, is one thing that's sorely lacking within social media today, is that everybody's divided. Everybody's at home on their screens or on their phones talking to people who knows where. You never know if you're talking to a bot or not. You never know anything. And I'm over here. Let's actually connect people together again. Like, and who knows? Maybe it'll lower the temperature of the rhetoric online, because you're going to think twice about
Please out.
insulting somebody that you're going to see next week in an event. So maybe it'll help a little bit that way as well.
We can only hope, because the rhetoric is insane. It just absolutely is. But yeah, I love the idea of let's make social media social again because it's just I don't know. One of the things that drives me the most crazy about the idea of monetization when it comes to most social media platforms is they reward the